Right now, someone in that room has already labeled you before a conversation, before a greeting, before a single word is spoken. In the first 7 seconds, the brain activated its oldest function and placed you in a category: trustworthy or not, strong or weak, leader or follower. And once that perception closes, nothing you say will easily open it again. You don't want to know this because you think it's unfair. You believe people should get to know you for real. You think you can show yourself over time through conversation by proving yourself. But social reality is not built on fairness. It is built on perception. And someone who leaves perception to chance has handed that perception over to someone else. This video is not for motivation, not for comfort. It is for taking back control. You will learn the 7 layers of your character, how people see you at first glance, which of your movements they are reading, and how to rewrite that reading. Watch carefully, because from this point on, your appearance will no longer be left to chance. It will be managed. You were not born to be seen this way. You were made that way, through repetition, through reward, through rules. From a young age, you learned which behavior earned approval. You discovered which attitude made you sweet, which stance made you feel safe. And over time, these learned behaviors began to feel as if they were part of your identity. But they are not. They are simply routines you developed to survive. And that routine is now walking into every room before you, speaking on your behalf in every introduction, making decisions in your name, in every evaluation. When they ignored you, something inside you collapsed. When they noticed you, something opened up. When you received praise, you relaxed. When you were criticized, you got angry. And this cycle, without your awareness, shaped the outward face of your character. What is being projected outward right now is not your true self. It is a reflection shaped by others' reactions. And that reflection enters every room before you. Hervey Cleckley documented this decades ago. He observed that people read a person from the outside, not from within, that the surface is processed before the content, and that if that surface is wrongly constructed, even the deepest values remain invisible. Even the most intelligent person, the most talented person, the most valuable person, if they carry the wrong exterior, they go unseen. Character cannot prove this. It is felt, and what is felt is the sum of your 7 layers. Understanding these 7 layers is not just gaining a social skill, it is reclaiming control of yourself. Because right now, a large portion of that control belongs to others, in others' reactions, in others' approval, in others' judgment. And this video will help you win that control back. The first layer is posture, not just the position of your shoulders, how you press into the ground, how you claim space or fail to, the relationship your body establishes with the room, the dialogue your body holds with gravity. Most people think their posture is neutral. There is no such thing as neutral. Every posture either carries a message of power or sends a signal of submission. It either challenges or apologizes for taking up space, and this message is received long before your words. Shoulders pulled inward, neck drooping forward, a body that cannot make room for itself tells the room, "I am not sure I am supposed to be here. Accept me. Approve of me." And the people in the room hear this. Not just the people, the entire room, even the atmosphere in the air shifts. Because the body is like an antenna. It constantly transmits signals. And the brain processes those signals hundreds of milliseconds before processing words. By contrast, a body that stands upright without retreating, feet planted firmly on the ground, a posture that naturally fills space, tells the room, "I am already here, and I do not need to explain that. I am part of this space. I do not need to prove that I belong here." Transformation begins there. Every time you want to shrink, expand. Every time you want to retreat, stay still. Every time you want to apologize, stop and hold your ground. Because a formidable character is not formed after feeling ready, it is formed after beginning to move despite the shrinking version inside. Your posture is a habit, and habits can be changed. But to change them, you must first notice them. Where are your shoulders right now? Turned inward? Dropped down? Is your head tilted forward? These questions seem simple, but their answers shape the first impression formed about you in every room. So your first rule is this: if your body is about to apologize, silence it. If a thought is diminishing you, kill it. If a habit is pulling you back, cut it. Because the world tells you to be kind, to be humble, to not fight. But people who take up no space are not remembered. They are simply passed by. The second layer is speed. How fast you move, how fast you speak, how quickly you respond to a question, how instantly you react to criticism. Hurry is the body language of anxiety. The brain processes fast movement as a mechanism under threat, as if trying to get away from something, as if something is trying to catch you, as if time is running out and there is something to be caught up with. And this feeling is lethal. The people around you also feel that hurry, and when they feel it, they unconsciously place you in a subordinate position. Because people who rush are generally people playing by rules set by someone else. Slowness, on the other hand, is the absolute expression of control. Hunters do not move before their prey. They wait until the moment of strike. Calm, ready, precise. There is no unnecessary movement. No unnecessary energy is spent. There is only a focused attention stored for the right moment. When you rush, people unconsciously ask, "Why is this person in such a hurry? What are they trying to catch up to?" Or more dangerously, "Why are they so tense?" Slow down. Deliberately slow down. Do not make it feel artificial. Internalize it. Measure your reactions. Take a breath before responding. That breath is not weakness. That breath is control. And it is the rest of the room that must adapt to the pace of the person in control. Most people do not even realize how fast they move, because they are still under someone else's control, still trying to impress others, still chasing approval. But someone who owns the room does not enter to impress. They enter to decide, and those who decide do not rush. Those who decide wait, calculate, and at the right moment, do exactly what needs to be done. The third layer is tone of voice. Words are just the outer skin, but your tone, your tempo, the weight your voice carries, and the resonance beneath your voice, these announce your place in the hierarchy. You are not aware of this. But the nervous system of the person across from you is a tone that rises at the end of sentences sounds like a question. And someone who asks questions cannot be someone who makes decisions. A voice that seeks approval at the end of every sentence has already surrendered before speaking. The words may be right, the argument may be strong, but if the tone surrenders, the message surrenders too. People are not rational. They are emotional. They do not follow the truth. They follow what they believe. If you appear certain, they assume you are right. If you hesitate, they do not consider you worth listening to. This seems unfair, but this is how the brain works, and once you understand this, you can turn it to your advantage. What does a strong voice sound like? Slow, calm, definitive. You speak as if your words are not open to questioning. Every sentence sounds like a decision. You speak like someone who already expects to be obeyed. Even if the room is full of experts, if you sound like a decision, people follow you. Lower your voice, slow your tempo. End every sentence in a way that resembles a conclusion. A strong voice does not seek witnesses. A strong voice is a verdict. A strong voice does not explain. A strong voice declares. And here is the fundamental truth. Speak less, but say more. When you do speak, remove the softness. No unnecessary explanation. No apology. Never say, "I just meant to say." I could be wrong. This might not make sense, but these are the escape hatches of the weak. Eliminate them. Say what you mean and leave it there. Let someone else carry the silence that follows. And if someone challenges you, never go on the defensive. Do not argue, do not explain, do not offer justification. Simply say, "I disagree," or better yet, "That is not correct," and move on. Because when you refuse to argue, you signal something formidable. The idea is not open for negotiation. This is how you control the room without ever raising your voice. The fourth layer is gaze. Eyes that flee apologize. Eyes that constantly dart away reveal insecurity. A gaze that escapes to the floor or to the side tells the person across from you, "I am uncomfortable with your eyes. You are evaluating me, and I know it, and it makes me uncomfortable." But a focused, calm, calculating gaze carries an entirely different message. It makes the person across from you begin to question themselves. Because eye contact is not a gesture of politeness, it is an expression of power. The one who looks is the dominant. The one who is looked at is, in a sense, the subject. And if you want to be the evaluator of the room, your eyes will not flee from anything. When someone looks at you, do not look away. When someone tries to test you, do not avert your gaze. Look back quietly, calmly, directly. This is not a game of superiority. It is simply the expression of who you are. A strong character does not withdraw its gaze, because there is nothing to withdraw from, nothing to defend, nothing to prove. It simply observes. And the one who observes stands above the one being observed. This is difficult to practice, because what you have learned pushes you to look away, especially in moments of tension, especially when someone is questioning you, especially when you are not sure of yourself. But in those moments, do the exact opposite. Do not look away, because that moment is the moment your identity is being tested. And the one who passes that test is placed in a different status among the rest of the room. The fifth layer is silence. Most people fear silence. They feel compelled to fill it. They laugh, explain, apologize, change the subject, say something unnecessary, because silence makes them feel as if something has gone wrong, as if approval has been withdrawn, as if something has been lost, as if there is a problem in the middle of it all that needs to be solved quickly. This is a reflex that comes from conditioning, and it must be overcome. In the right hand, silence is a weapon. The silence that follows a powerful statement is leaving the person across from you alone with the weight of that sentence. And most people crumble under that weight. They want to object, but they do not know what you are hiding inside that silence. They do not know what else you are about to say, and the unknown is always more frightening than the predictable. Hervey Cleckley, while studying human behavior for years, observed this. The most effective characters were defined as much by what they did not say as by what they did. Silence was not a weakness, but something like a mask. Who would keep talking? Who would go quiet? Who would become tense? Who would remain calm? And the one who remained calm settled into the center of the room. When you speak, speak with this knowledge. Every word is a direction, and the words you do not choose are just as powerful as the ones you do. In some cases, even more powerful. The sixth layer is consistency. A single strong entrance is not enough, because after people form a first impression, they begin collecting evidence to confirm or refute it. The brain does this automatically. It does not close the file. It updates it, and every update either reinforces the first impression or builds a new one on top of it. Someone who appears strong today and shaky tomorrow is not strong. They are simply unstable. And inconsistency creates not power but anxiety, not reliability but unpredictability. And someone unpredictable is dangerous but in a different way, not frightening in a way that makes others feel unsafe. Consistency is the most powerful proof tool of character. You must carry the same mask every time you enter a room. When someone praises you, you must not soften. When someone ignores you, you will not shrink. When someone tests you, you must not become a different person, because someone whose emotions can be read by everyone is someone open to manipulation. And someone who can be manipulated is filed away as someone to be used. This does not mean being emotionless. Your emotions are real, and you will feel them, but you do not need to share them with everyone. Your mind is not a public space, it is a fortress, and you decide who enters. So how is consistency built? In small moments. What is your reaction when someone says something unexpected? What do you look like when someone criticizes you? How do you change when someone praises you? Pay attention to these moments, because these moments are the real tests of your character. And the one who passes these tests, who builds a consistent surface, becomes over time the apex of the room. People look to them, take their cues from their reactions, draw strength from their calm. This is the essence of what is called leadership. And leadership is not a title, it is an authority. The seventh layer is the deepest and the least understood. This layer is expectation, internal expectation. If you expect to be loved, you are seeking approval, and that search is visible in your every movement. If you expect to be rejected, you have gone on the defensive, and that defense is felt in the escape hidden in your every word. But if you expect to be obeyed, the atmosphere of the room changes. Because expectation bleeds into behavior, into the words you choose, the place you stand, the reaction you give when someone ignores you, the calm you show when someone challenges you. People read your expectation, unconsciously, and this is exactly why. Every person around you reads what you expect from them, not from your words, but from your energy, your posture, the vibration of your voice. If you expect approval, those who grant approval grow stronger, and you grow weaker. If you expect obedience, disobedience becomes a weapon, and they point that weapon at you. This is not manipulation, this is the raw, unchanging mechanics of reality. And the moment you grasp these mechanics, you stop being a victim of them and consciously take them into your own hands. Now ask yourself this: do you truly see these 7 layers as a whole? Because they are not disconnected techniques, they are a single system, interlocked and feeding one another. If your posture is solid as steel but your voice collapses, the system shakes. If your gaze is resolute but your consistency is absent, the system collapses. Perhaps you wield silence masterfully, but if that thirst for approval still lives inside you, everything you have built will scatter like a castle made of sand. The system only becomes functional when all layers are working simultaneously in the same direction. And once you find that alignment, you no longer have to think about it. It becomes you, beyond performance, the very substance of identity. Because everything up until that moment was playing a role. What begins after that moment is transformation. Real, permanent, irreversible transformation. Understand this clearly. While rejection feels like a wound to the powerless, to a strong character, it arrives like a signal sent by the world, a warning, an intelligence report. The message the world is quietly telling you: you were too accessible, too open, too visible. Good. Now you know what needs to be sharpened. Rejection is not personal, it is positional. People only say no when they think they can survive without you. This is not an insult, it is a data point. Raw intelligence showing you where they stand, how they see you, and exactly where your power has not yet reached. And that information, in the right hands, becomes a weapon. First step, never appear affected. The moment you let your pain show on your face, they win. But this is not even about them. It is about your internal consistency. A strong mind does not collapse when a door closes. It makes the room colder. You were not rejected, they disqualified themselves from deserving your access. Rejection is only real when you accept it. So you do not react, you observe, you analyze, and with cold blood, quietly, you continue on your way. Second step, strategically withdraw your presence. When something taken for granted disappears, its weight is only then felt. When you are rejected, you do exactly this, you disappear. No explanation, no emotional farewell, no long messages. Just a silent, cold, and seemingly permanent withdrawal. And while they feel that void, you are building. Hervey Cleckley observed, the most powerful characters are those who respond not with pain, but with absence. Do not hurt them, make them irrelevant. Let your silence speak louder than your words and leave them wondering where you went, how fast you are moving, whether they ever truly had access to you at all. Third step, reframe the narrative for yourself, not for them. Rejection only carries power when you appear to be chasing someone. So, rewrite the story. You were not rejected. You removed yourself from a game that had become too small for you. You offered them an opportunity, the opportunity to prove they had the discernment to recognize power. They failed. And in that failure, they told you everything you needed to know. Now disappear and elevate. Fourth step, convert rejection into control. This is exactly where you win. Rejection is a form of clarity. Most people live in ambiguity, unable to tell who respects them, who uses them, who fears them. But rejection cuts through that fog like a knife and gives you a crystal clear map. Who is blind, where your power has not yet reached, and exactly where you need to work. So what do? You sharpen your edge, you review your 7 layers one by one, and this time you build the system without gaps. Which layer is weak? Which is inconsistent? Which is sending the wrong signal? And you rebuild that layer, quietly, patiently, and in the end, you make your value so visible that those who once overlooked you now feel compelled to explain themselves to you. And when they come back, they will comply. You do not even need to reject them. You have already reached a point beyond their access. This is control, silent, permanent, elegant. Fifth step, turn your return into a weapon. The goal is never revenge. Revenge is emotional, and emotional responses temporarily hand control of your character over to someone else. A strong character's move is always calculated. That is why you do not try to repay anyone. You allow time to handle it for you. You only reappear when your presence creates a problem. When your success has become so visible they cannot escape it. When the person who rejected you watches you ruling in the exact field they thought you did not belong in, you say nothing. You hold no grudge. You plant no needles. You make no ego promises. Perhaps you offer only a perspective, perhaps not even that, because you are no longer trying to be accepted. You are setting the standard. And that is far more powerful than any form of revenge. Now look back. Think of the 7 layers again. Posture, speed, tone of voice, gaze, silence, consistency, expectation. What does someone look like who carries all 7 layers simultaneously? When they enter a room, the atmosphere shifts. No one can explain exactly why, but everyone feels it. When this person speaks, people listen, not only for what they say, but for how they say it. When this person chooses silence, that silence weighs heavier than words. When this person is rejected, it leaves no mark on them. Instead, it leaves a question mark in the mind of the one who rejected. Did I make the right decision? When this person is approved of, they use that approval not as a necessity, but as a tool. And when this person leaves and looks back, the room remembers them, not their words, their weight. This is the pinnacle of character engineering. And reaching this point does not happen overnight. After all, Rome was not built in a day, was it? But from the moment you begin consciously building each layer, change begins. Small at first, someone's reaction in a meeting shifts. Something in someone's eyes changes at an introduction. The way someone listens to you in a conversation transforms. Then it grows. And one day, without noticing, you walk into that room and the game changes in an instant. You did not work for them to see you this way. You simply showed them who you are. And who you are is now in a state where you no longer need to show yourself. The final command is this. Like this video, if you are now going to take control of your character, subscribe. If you believe that the person seen at first glance can be shaped not by chance, but by design. Because this is not motivational content, this is a character engineering guide, and you have just learned your 7 layers. The rest is up to you. After all, you are the one who holds everything in your hands, aren't you?